all started. AI for Dota 2 was developed by a company called OpenAI. The working AI was first presented to the public in 2017, where it participated in a show match against a professional Dota 2 team.
OpenAI versus Team Herald. Game 1.
The ability of the bots expanded to play together as a full team of 5, and were able to defeat teams of amateur and semi-professional players.
And we can see the first battle of the match. They are focusing Sprunk. He goes down and the bots take the first blood. I think the Team Herald will not put this on their CV.
In 2019, OpenAI 5 defeats Dota 2 world champions. From all esports, it was the first time ever an artificial intelligence had won against world champions. The AI's victory was convincing. The improvement compared to the previous few years was caused by strengthening computational power and increased machine learning. The AI simply became stronger and better.
And first timer is chasing the AI. I don't even know what hero is that, but it looks like a drone. The drone is making fun of him. No wonder he can't do anything. The AI knows how to play. Just one angry fisher and go home for the dinner.
According to OpenAI, in 2019, the AI already had 45,000 years of playing Dota. It was able to play a pool of 25 heroes. It played 7,200 games against human players, and it had 99% win rate.
Bots are now leading 21-5. What is Team Herald doing there? That Prophet is trying to counterattack, but it just sucks.
OpenAI 5 realized an ability to be a teammate with humans, even though their training process focused only on beating other bots, without human assistance. It was discovered that the AI can cooperate with humans to the same extent as it can compete with them. The AI's developers were pleased that human players, according to their tests, are feeling supported when playing with the AI on their team, and they were enjoying it overall. The experimental teams had 2 human players and 3 AIs each. We don't have to go far in order to understand what intentions did they have for this research.
And Sniper is looking for a way to get some score, but they are so fast he can't right-click them. They kite him like a small aeroplane. Meanwhile, Shaker is really scared. He tried to hide in the jungle, but the bots find him anyway. And the Death Prophet still sucks.
Now, several years later, we can ask, at what level is the AI now? Are they able to play with human players on a mass scale? Was this just one-off experiment costing tens of millions of dollars just to do a few show matches against professional teams? What was the purpose of all of this?
And Thompson, he's after that AI. I don't even know if he's chasing or trying to run away. Why don't you just kill it, man? Oh, bots get him into a sandwich.
The AI can beat very strongly even the top professional teams. How strong would they then be against random teams of casual players? There is a whole array of MMR boosting services on the internet. Some of them even promise 80% win rate. Is the fact that the bots can convincingly beat most of players somehow related to the existence of the boosting services which have such a big win rate?
And the Team Herald is now taking down Witch Doctor. They got 6 kills against AI's 29. I guess they are all feeling cool now.
Company Valve, who runs Dota 2, firmly refuses presence of bots in ranked games to this day. Could we ever imagine a gaming company actually lying to the players, except in our wildest bad dreams? Is anyhow realistic that distant possibility that the gaming company is deceiving its players in order to greedily enrich itself, however unthinkable it may seem? It surely isn't possible that the gaming company sees the players only as milking cows instead of treating them as equal human beings. Or is it?
It's a pure pain to watch. Team Herald is losing heavily. And the score is 32-6. I don't even know which of the teams are bots actually. Can they fight back? Maybe now. That prophet finally stopped griefing. Hey, can you hold my beer for a minute? And where is Team Herald? I can't see them now. Oh. Meanwhile, Shaker is coming back from the jungle, but he is now holding only his little totem. Nice, Smurf. What do you mean, man? We play this in ranked every day.
We play this in ranked every day.
Hello guys, welcome to my video Dota 2 The AI Apocalypse. My name is MazzyCZ. I've been playing ranked games for a while, both solo and team queue, and I have discovered some very interesting things about this game, which I would like to show you. And just a disclaimer before you ask. No, I'm not recording in a shower. Now what I want to show you, watch the bottom lane. There is Ursa. Appear there for a short moment, so the Dire could see him. We've got Pooch and Slardar porting there at the same time onto the bottom lane. They have seen Ursa, they haven't seen anyone else. They can just see one Radiant on the mid lane at the moment. Pooch and Slardar are both human players. They get badly beaten. Let's watch it once again on slower speed. We got Pooch porting on the bottom lane, Slardar behind him, coming after Ursa. They get almost immediately nuked by two other players. Now let's watch it from the perspective of Radiant. They can see only two players at the moment on the minimap on the mid lane. And you got Skywrath, Ursa and Dark Willow all coming into the same area. Oh, hang on. It's just the vision here for Gradient. Now, they can't see anyone here. They can't see those two guys porting in. Here appears Pooch. Here appears Slardar. And they got nuked at the same time. Okay, let's put it back again. Let's watch it again in slow motion. Putting wards, of course. Now here, Dark Willow starts creeping a camp. She's pretty much in the middle of creeping the camp. Now she turns and leaves. And here appears Pooch. Just like 2 seconds after that. And the Dire get nuked. Let's watch it again. She goes here. She doesn't see anyone coming yet. Just now, after leaving the camp. Notice how these two guys are exactly on the same distance. Perfectly synchronized to jump on the guys who are coming from the top. Now, why has it happened like this? It's because Dark Willow is a bot, Skywrath is most likely a bot, and Ursa may be a human, not sure about it. And they basically know when they are targeted or a location near to them is targeted by enemy heroes. You can see
She was already on the way before they appeared here. You will see this often in games with bots, that they basically jump at you all at the same time somewhere in the jungle. It's kind of a trap. They allow you to see one of your heroes to make you think that he's there just himself alone. Meanwhile, they are waiting in the fog of war, and when you choose to approach, they know that you have targeted the ground close to them. They get basically ready, and when you appear, all jump at you at the same time. Now let's have a look at some examples of perfect synchronization. Yeah, this is just 200 MMR level Herald rank. You can see absolutely precise, on really few milliseconds, synchronized cooperation. Please notice that nature prophets sprouts arrive exactly at the same moment when a sniper scattershot is absolutely on milliseconds. Takže look at this. We've got Doom for the Dire coming from the top. He's visible on the map. He gets global silenced and first arrow by the Wind Ranger at the exactly same moment. Here he comes. 1 millisecond was the silence before the first arrow. Now let's watch it on the quarter speed, 0.25. Let's have a look at the silencer. So last hit, deny, last hit, global silence. You gotta love that. There were more situations in this match, so let's have a look at them. We've got Weaver on the top lane. At the tower is Witch Doctor, and this Warlock is porting in. Global silence. There is no fighting at the moment happening. Let's put it back. Let's put it on the slow speed. Got silencer here on this side of the map. WD porting in on the top lane. Weaver's farming the top lane. Wind Ranger is in the forest. This guy's porting on the top lane. Weaver invisible. Now he receives global silence. Just at the same moment when the Warlocks ported in. Weaver didn't attack them straight away, but he was about to attack them. These two guys on the top lane. They of course couldn't know that, but they knew that Weaver approached when he was approximately so close to Warlock. Silencer triggered global silence at that moment. There was no other reason for global silence at that moment because there was no fight anywhere. Let's see what Radiant could see. Weaver on the lane, they can't see anything now. They just know he's spotting in, this is his position, and some other hero is at this position near the XP shrine. So that's because of their distance. When they get close, as a security mechanism, he triggers global silence in a case Weaver would attack. Because the AI knows that Weaver is at the moment the most dangerous player from the Dire. He's a roamer, he's looking for solo kills. Now let's have a look at this situation. It's the same match. On the bottom lane, WR and Silencer killing creeps here. And Weaver gets killed. Okay. So, did you see that? At the moment they can't see anyone from the Dire on the minimap. Haven't seen for a while. Let's do it again. Here goes. The Windranger now turns around and goes back to Silencer. Just a millisecond before Weaver appears here. For a very brief moment, he turns invisible. Immediately, Silencer puts wards. And they just get him so easily, so smoothly. Okay. Windranger turns around, now he appears. Silencer immediately drops a sentry ward there. Puts it on half speed. Now the ward. So another important thing. Go back. Let's do it again. What I want to show you. Silencer has got the observer ward on the top. Now he switches 1 millisecond before Weaver appears there and immediately drops sentry. Observer on the top. Now switch, now he appears. Now drops the ward. It's on half speed now. Okay. Now people are asking if I want to be a competitive player, is it okay to start playing Dota in 2025? Well, what I would say, if you want to get bombed down like this, like that Weaver, be my guest. You can play a game where very few people will respond to your chat, where very few people will care about you on your team, and you will be getting a team with 2 or 3 human players if you go solo. But I don't know, maybe someone would enjoy it. Now, another situation from the same game. So what's basically going on? Sniper here for the Dire gets attacked by Spectre on the bottom lane. He goes in with, behind him appears Doom, but Doom is silenced as soon as he appears. Okay, here, Sniper is alone here. He gets attacked by Spectre. Doom, as soon as he appears behind, is silenced. He can't do anything. Sniper gets killed. Let's see it again. Viewing the Dire fog. Now Doom is silenced and he immediately blinks. He blinks exactly a millisecond after he was silenced. It means that he clicked his blink dagger to the location of the Spectre and therefore he got silenced. You can see that. So he lands there. He's silenced already when he lands, so he can't do anything, he can't use any spells, and it makes sure that Sniper gets killed. Okay, let's see it from Fog of the Radiant. They can see Sniper here. Spectre appears attacking him. Now Doom appears for a very brief moment, and then when he blinks he is already silenced. Now let's see what was happening at the same time in the middle lane. Where is the silencer? They are pushing the lane along with Windranger. Here goes the global silence. And they take down the tower. Okay, silencer steps out of the lane, uses his polywalk charm, and at the same time global silence, and immediately goes to the tower to take it down. Greatly synchronized with Windranger. Okay, he uses a ward, he's very good with wards. He got polywalk charm and global silence. Exactly at the same moment when the Spectre is attacking Sniper, they simultaneously take down the tower on the middle lane. Now I find this fascinating. Notice how he steps out of the lane a short moment before he casts polywalk charm and global silence. I think they must be programmed that way when using an item to step aside for a moment, perhaps to make an impression, to be like a real player, or not to be too bluntly recognize that they do everything at exactly the same time. They need no reactions time, they have absolutely perfect micro. Yeah, so they just had to program such things into their behavior, like to stepping out for a short moment to pretend to be busy or something like that. Okay, now let's have a look at this. There is LC and QOP at the outpost. The Dire are completely AI team, I believe. This Lycan is human. He spent some time in the jungle now. Came from the bottom lane. And now what I want to show you in this situation. Okay, they are coming from the outpost, these two females. They are going exactly at the spot where Lycan is. And now, did you see that? He is dead, of course. Have a look at again. Now he flashes in the jungle. He glitches for a short moment twice. And they go exactly to his spot. Yeah, now both of them are quite far away from the jungle. I'm not really sure how can they get a vision of him at this moment. Now. Yeah. And they are both going exactly to his same position, to his position. They can't be sure he's exactly at that spot, right? But the glitching somehow helps them. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be like that or a bug, or it is actually a malevolent behavior from the AI. Now I would like to show you this situation. We can see perspective of the Radiant, Shadow Shaman, Phantom Assassin.
Roshan has fallen.
The Dire has just beaten Roshan.
Radiant are scanning.
QOP gets Aegis of Immortality. Shadow Shaman PA walking downwards in their jungle. Right. Now we can see Zeus. We can see Lich. We can see Medusa through the sword. So they can see these guys, these three guys are walking away from them. At the moment they have no vision of any other heroes. They have no vision of this location, right? Shadow Shaman walking downwards. Now he turns, starts running towards Phantom Assassin, and now he uses his Ghost Scepter. So again, watch Shadow Shaman. Now he balks a bit, doesn't want to go there, continues walking downwards. Now he turns, different direction towards Phantom Assassin, goes towards him. Now he uses Ghost Scepter. Okay. So, what is that for? What is this weird behavior for?
What adventures are awaiting Phantom Assassin and Shaman in the jungle? And why did Shaman have to use the scepter? That's what we learn in the next episode of the AI Apocalypse. Now it's time for a commercial break.
Hey honey, what's happened? You are looking so sad.
Oh no, Mom, just look at my Dota account.
But why don't you try the MMR Reducing Service?
But do you think it really works?
You bet it does. How much you would like to have it reduced? To 500, to 100, or even to 50 MMR? Our MMR Reducing Service is here for you. This has never been easier. Are you tired of those sleepless nights when you barely close your eyes and your MMR is shooting through the roof? Are your neighbors complaining that you have a high MMR? Are your family and friends ostracizing you because you are too good in Dota? Are you dreaming of a loser life but still can't get rid of those annoying green bars? It's never been easier. Join thousands of our satisfied customers who already have had their accounts ruined. Do you know that feeling when your support kills the entire enemy team by himself? The MMR Reducing Service is here for you. Just call 0800-321-REDUCE and book your loser slot today. Now hear a testimony of one of our satisfied customers.
Listen, son, I used to have a really high MMR. I got sometimes even 200 wins a day. But one day I realized that my relationships were just gone. They even fired me from my job because I had a higher MMR than my boss. And back then I decided to do something myself. For some time I managed to stay under 50% win rate. But it didn't last long. Then I hit another winning streak. So I told myself, now you really have to make it. You don't want to end up like the next world champion, do you? I took all my energy and my power and concentrated it into not winning again. And it worked. The next match I lost. I know I had it under control now. But the following match their carry just accidentally sold all his items. So I won again. It broke me down completely. I couldn't go on anymore like that. I told myself, it just can't get any worse than that. So why don't I try that professional service?
Losing is winning, and winning is losing. That's what we know in our company very best. Our case specialists Vanilli Lick Me and Susie Ditch Me will do everything to get you rid of that burdensome prestige.
So I picked up a phone and got to talk with one of their specialists. They were very professional and friendly. I immediately started trusting them. They asked me what's going on. I said, my MMR's too high. I can't even go into the street anymore. What can you do about it? And they said, of course we will look into that. Then they asked me what my MMR was. So I told them what it was. And they said, how could you own like that? So I told them that I can eat enemy buildings with Tidehunter. And they said, okay, we put you on a diet now. Do you have a credit card?
Then your case will be handed over to the team of our real Dota experts. And you can just relax, assured that you're going to feel like loser again.
So I paid them a decent amount of cash, and in a week or two, my Dota account was completely wrecked. I had like 50 or 100 MMR, and it was such a huge relief for me. I was feeling so happy, and then my girlfriend, she started talking with me again, and my wife and my kids. It's hard to describe by words. I hadn't felt so happy since I was losing to King Kong in Prehistoric 2.
Call 0800-321-REDUCE, but you better be quick because not everyone can be a loser at the same time. Don't hesitate and call our MMR Reducing Service now. And if you call today, you will receive a free loser badge to make your losing even more enjoyable.
This isn't a medical advice. If you cannot reduce your MMR yourself, please contact your psychiatrist first.
On previous episode.
Shadow Shaman. Walking downwards, now he turns, starts running towards Phantom Assassin, and now he uses his Ghost Scepter. Goes towards him. Now he uses Ghost Scepter. What is that for? What is this weird behavior for? Let's see it. Without a fog, we can see now Sand King is walking in their jungle. He's walking downwards, parallel to Shadow Shaman now. Now Scepter, Sand King turns toward him. Okay. These two guys are running downwards. They have no vision of Sand King at the moment at all. They don't know about him at all. Shadow Shaman turns. Ghost Scepter. Okay. Sand King walking up the hill. Walking downwards. Still walking downwards. Now he turns half a second or a second later after Shaman uses the scepter and walks in his direction. And he gets punished for that, of course. No way. Okay, let's see it again. What I want to show you also. Watch his blink dagger radius. Approaching Shadow Shaman. Now he turns, doesn't want to go there. He stays beyond the perimeter of the blink dagger all the time. He doesn't breach the perimeter, even though he can't see the hero. Now, the Ghost Scepter. Right. Turns towards Phantom Assassin, Sand King walking downwards. Now he turns to him, but he already has Ghost Scepter on him. Yeah. So you may ask, why didn't he use Ghost Scepter while he was closer actually to him? Why he was closest to his radius now? Didn't use the Ghost Scepter now, right? The Ghost Scepter triggers now, just before, very short brief time before Sand King turns towards him. It means Sand King targeted him or targeted ground close to him. Let's watch it from perspective for the Sand King. Their perspective, what he can see to get an idea at least. He walks downwards in the jungle. Now he has seen Shadow Shaman for a short moment. He knows some enemies are here probably, so he's just going to explore. Sand King is, by the way, a human player. I know it because I played him. Now he can see Shadow Shaman again, so he knows enemies are there. And he decides to give it a try, to get some kills randomly. But the moment he clicks there, Shadow Shaman already's got the scepter on him. Right. So they are basically prepared on him. He's got no advantage of surprise. Yeah. That's why he finishes like that. Now let's have a look at the relevant article which came out on vice.com. Name of the article is OpenAI is beating humans at Dota 2 because it's basically cheating. It was written by Matthew Gott in August 2018. There was another show match where AI bots beat professional human players in 2 consecutive games. And what is saying in the article is following. The OpenAI 5 bots also play Dota 2 by reading the game's information directly from its application programming interface, API for short, which allows other programs to easily interface with Dota 2. This gives the AI instant knowledge about the game, whereas human players have to visually interpret a screen. If a human was able to do this in a competitive match against other humans, we would probably call it cheating. We have just seen Shadow Shaman triggering his scepter a short moment before the Sand King turned towards him. The bots are connected directly to the API, which gives them a faster reaction time than we players have on our screens. And that's also one of the reasons why I think that the bots cannot be run by any third-party company or a group without Valve's knowing it, because it just requires access to the programming interface of the game. Now another thing from this article, the API is designed not to give the AI more information than a human would have, said Mark Riedel, an associate professor of AI and machine learning at the Georgia Tech College of Computing. But we know that that's not the correct information. The bots clearly have more information than players do, speaking about the current state of ranked games. Now let's have a look at this situation. We can see a battle on the mid lane. Okay. Ogre is dead for the Dire. Phantom Assassin is dead for the Dire. Witch Doctor still lives, he goes into a ward. Juggernaut goes back. Lich is chasing him, but Witch Doctor's escaping. And the Lich can't find him anymore because he can't see him in the fog of war. Let's go back a bit. Slow it down on half speed. Chain Frost decimating them. Witch Doctor low HP, he goes into a ward. Juggernaut can't do anything at the moment. He decides to retreat, but Lich is chasing Witch Doctor. And nothing happened. Now he can't find him anymore. Because Witch Doctor is just beyond the fog of the war. Okay, go back again. Now, here's the crucial moment. Nothing happened. Did you see that? Let's go on quarter speed again. See Juggernaut after him. Witch Doctor goes into a ward. Lich is coming. His Frost Nova refreshes just now. Bam! Nothing happened. Again. Let's put it on quarter speed now. Watch the Lich's cooldown on his, casting on his Frost Nova. Now, casting goes on, nothing happens. No Frost Nova lands. Witch Doctor 246 HP, Lich level 4 Frost Nova. That is a mortal blow if it lands, of course. Quarter speed. And let's watch Witch Doctor. Now he glitches appears again. A tiny micro glitch at the same moment when the Frost Nova was about to be casted. Again. Now, nothing happened, he glitches, then he appears again so he can see him moving up the stairs in vision. Yeah, this is a sure kill for Lich. He's at the top of the stairs. Micro glitch appears again, goes up the stairs. Now we can see it with the range of Frost Nova. He is in the range, of course, that's not the issue here. Now this is a half of quarter speed, 12% speed. It can't be any more precise than that, this glitch. So I would like to add something to this. Of course, it was quite shocking for me when I fully realized what was going on actually here. That it's not just a random glitch. Okay. So, this game, in the beginning it was quite a storm. We were losing quite heavily. But as game was progressing, we were getting better and better. We were able to fight them back. Current score is 20-37. Okay, I had quite high hopes for the mid game because I was controlling quite well with Lich, doing lots of damage. We were able to fight them back. I was putting hopes in Juggernaut in the game because he looked to be determined, probably a human. It really looked like that if we can break through, we can make it, we can win this game. But I think this was a crucial fight and we weren't able to gain a momentum. Currently 3 players are dead on each side. I was playing the Lich and I was feeling that that was really a crucial kill when I was going after it. And it just didn't happen, but the momentum was supposed to be there. The Witch Doctor was strong from the beginning. He was quite dominant for their team. He was like a backbone of their team, and I felt if we can kill him in this fight, we would gain the sufficient momentum to get over them and to win. And the kill just didn't happen, and I don't think it's a normal game mechanics or a coincidence. In 2019, we know that the AI was training at the pace of 45,000 years of simulated experience in 10 real-time months. It means that it was playing 91 hours of Dota in 1 real-time minute. Yeah, that's a lot of experience. So with such an experience, you can imagine the level of understanding of the game this AI has, like being aware of who's got a momentum in the game at the moment, what are dangerous at what point of the game this is dangerous or this isn't dangerous, what we can do, what we can't do, seeing the game from larger picture. I guess it must have an understanding of a larger picture of the game when are the crucial moments like this. Yeah. Let's say it can see Lich doing well, it can see Juggernaut doing well, even though they were getting beaten in the beginning. The Dire couldn't advance, they couldn't get on their base yet, still. And it can figure out that at the current pace, if these kills are to happen, that they will get more trouble in the late game. They will potentially get beaten because it can model the strength of Juggernaut. It may figure out that when the fight doesn't happen according to its expectations, their team will start being ineffective. It can figure out that if their team puts all their resources in 20th minute into beating them, but can't completely accomplish it, and the other team just is doing still quite okay, that it may mean big troubles later on for them. We already know that the AI is using more information than the players have an access to. And the question is, how far is it willing to go in order to gain a victory? Is it willing to use cheats like this, to use graphic glitching for a very short moment, which is very hard to point a finger at that it really happened or that it wasn't a coincidence? It's really hard to notice it, yeah? We got used to it that the map is full of trees and the graphic glitching is sometimes really funny. So is it possible that the AI has learned to use this gray area in order to perform its cheats, basically? I can tell you that I have played around 10,000 matches of Warcraft 3 which is a game in its mechanics very similar to Dota 2. And guess how many times I didn't accomplish a kill because of a graphic glitch? Exactly 0 times, so far I remember. Let's see another situation. We got Jakiro on the bottom lane. Great King is just leaving now. Jakiro stays alone on the bottom lane. There are no enemies in vision around here. Jakiro drops a ward. Now he decides he wants to go at the tower. He does one shot at the tower. He turns around and starts running away. Now appears Sand King with his ultimate on already, trying to take down Jakiro. He does take him down with help of Bounty Hunter. Jakiro is dead. So, of course this is a zone which is dangerous for Jakiro at the moment because no vision of enemy heroes. It means he can get ganked soon. He's deep in their territory. He does one shot at the tower, turns around, starts running away, which is, in my opinion, quite illogical behavior. And when we have a look on view of both teams, we will understand why. Let's see Sand King porting in, 5-second casting time, he's already porting in, Jakiro goes to the tower, one shot. The moment Sand King lands, Jakiro turns around and starts running away. Now landed, he turns around, starts running away. Sand King, the moment he lands, he starts casting his ultimate. Right. Now ultimate, Jakiro turns around, starts leaving. Yeah. So the Sand King doesn't land his ultimate with maximum power. Even though they punish Jakiro. Anyway, the bot is just making it harder for them. Such kinds of things are common to see in games. Landing a powerful ultimate is often a very hard task.
Hey, what's up, bro? My name is Harold Kane. Stay a minute and listen. A story of ancient legends and adventures when I had no fur on my face like I do now, and when my muscles were still teeming with strength and vigor. But in my youth, as I was bold and adventurous, I was also foolish to the same extent. Me and my companions were seeking a glory. We had no wisdom like old men have, and that's why we decided to climb a peak upon which any mortal hadn't set a foot yet, a mountain of 200 MMR. When the time has come to start our adventure, I decided to visit one of the Tristram's best houses of bondage and sadism. To this day, I regret the foolishness of my decision to ask for help Akasha, and she also proved to be a rather noisy companion. We then embarked on the adventure. We set up a campsite at foot of the mountain of 200. I remember the first night of our journey like it was yesterday. And as I still had worldly desires of a young man, I admit that I had my backside ravaged by Akasha, and not just a single time. But that night in our campsite, I had to refuse her. I didn't have a change on me, and beside that, I felt a strange uneasiness in me, like something ominous was yet to happen. As the night grew to its fullest, and my companions were fast asleep, I remember noticing the strange quietness which as if gradually flooded the air around us. There were no noises, birds of prey flapping, its wings on the mountainside, and no foxes roaming the darkness of the night. Even a donkey appeared like a motionless silhouette against the dim sky with a strange silence. Being aware of a peculiar nature of the moment, I started feeling like in a cage, with no bars, but confined by my terrified mind. I tried to disperse the fear as a simple nightmare, but when I was finally falling asleep, a sudden noise, a sound of marching and strangers' voices, yanked me into awakening. A wanderer, with a group of his demonic lackeys. When I laid my eyes upon him for the first time, cold shivers ran across my spine and hairs on my neck stood up. My mind was suddenly engulfed in terror, showing that the strange silence wasn't just a product of my imagination. I had a good look at his garments. What a piece of a useless suit, I thought in disdain to myself. At that moment, I didn't know yet that I was looking at the real killing machine. In the morning after their arrival, I got to meet with the stranger. He told me that his hellish-looking group is protecting the summit of the mountain, and that they are going to slay everyone who dares to approach the path to the top. Akasha was impatient and arrogant. It was apparent that she had more courage than reason. She boasted how she can instantly silence all our enemies. When I looked at the wanderer, I doubted that. He had glowing blades and she had just a big mouth. I was more hopeful of the help of my other companion. He was an experienced sailor and an excellent swordsman. It didn't take much, and we decided to fight them.
Let's see how is QOP doing in this match. Early warm up, we can see the first cast, but she gets shackled. I can see some psychological game, tries to strike, but she gets shackled. And fighting for the creeps goes on. She tries to cast, but shackles. 7-1 now, striking anti-mage, gets shackled again.
The battle wasn't developing according to our expectations. I could see it on Akasha's face. She predicted an easy spanking. Neither her or me or our sailor companion expected the fighting prowess and the devilish trickery with which was our opponent tormenting us on the battlefield.
Shadow striking AM at the tower, but he counters. QOP is running around, doesn't know what to do. Trying to read the enemies. Blink in, fake an attack. But the enemies just don't care about her. And now striking anti-mage, but counter.
Double counter.
Striking anti-mage on the lane, but he counters.
Triple counter.
Striking AM at the tower, but he counters.
Quadruple counter.
AM tries to grab her skirt from behind, but Kunka saves her. And she's going after anti-mage, Shadow Strike, but he counters again. What did you have for a breakfast, man? They're trying to get him out of the lane, Shadow Strike, but counter again.
Hexa counter.
Now Kunka goes from behind, and he counters again.
Kunka counter.
With vastly superior fighting skills, more powerful than what I had ever seen in my life, it was becoming clear that Wanderer's true identity wasn't just some common one. He was either a champion warrior who had earned his titles in fighting pits of Loot Smurfen, or even one of the primeval evils, El Boto himself.
AM is on low HP, Shepard's next to him. He is dead now, but he had no mana to counter.
No mana counter.
And QOP is testing the anti-mage. He triggers no counter.
Suspecting a true nature of his evil, Akasha decided to test him. She approached close enough and observed his reaction. The enemy showed no emotions and no weakness. It was like he could read her mind, like he already knew that she didn't want to attack him. As the battle was fierce, Akasha wanted to attack the Wanderer again, but this time surprising him from a shadow. As she got near to him, instead of using her dagger, she let out a terrible scream, because she didn't get paid for her service. Some things simply no man can breach, not even a mighty warrior. We were already on the verge of exhaustion, our forces running out while we were trying to slay the vile enemy. Akasha didn't want to give up. She made the last desperate attempt and cast her dagger on our enemy while hidden between trees. But he averted the attack, like he had his eyes everywhere, and like it was a straw of hay falling at him.
And QOP is going to cast a Shadow Strike on herself.
Super mega massive counter.
When I witnessed that, a panic engulfed me. Evil has entered this world again, and I imagined what a horrible fate is awaiting town of Tristram and the villages. What slaughter is looming above our beloved cattle and fields, and what destruction is coming to our majestic cathedral, which we've just made on a 3D printer. It was now completely clear that he was no mortal champion warrior from Loot Smurfine, possessing such inhuman fying capabilities. We were indeed facing the Lord of Terror, El Boto himself. So we fought, and we barely saved our lives. Akasha was the only one who didn't complain on the beating we received from El Boto and his henchmen. She actually was saying something about gaining more artistic inspiration. But regarding me, I didn't have to see her for a long time, following the battle. The news of the return of El Boto, the Lord of Terror, onto the mountain of 200 MMR, spread through our lands like a fire through a pine forest. That was the beginning of dark times. After our unsuccessful conquest of the mountain, I met with my friend Fario. I asked him whether he can take me with him on a journey to the east, as I felt dissatisfaction in myself, and I was eager for more adventures. I was seeking the ancient town of Loot Smurfine, as I had heard many stories about this place, which was also called the Jewel of the Desert. I heard about its riches and opportunities, as well as I heard tales about its surrounding sands with its noon air so hot that you could bake a beetle in it. I still remember the conversation to this day. He told me,
"Of course, my friend, I take you on the journey with me and with my caravan, but you have to know that there is no place such as Loot Smurfine. That place doesn't exist. It's a trick of demons from the city of Kurast who spread such rumors to keep folks in our lands confused. They don't want us the people to learn the truth about the corruption which has consumed Kurast, and therefore they create myths about this place spreading among inhospitable desert dunes, to make us to look in other direction. There is a huge evil under the city of Kurast. There under the corrupted council in the halls hidden from daylight. In there you would find an installation and pipes of the Lord of Lies. They call him Plumber Fisto. He turns open the valve of all deception and lets it out into the world.
So you've heard it all. That was the beginning when evil crept on this world again.
You hero, only you can save your mortal realm. Evil has found a way into this world again. You have to kill Plumber Fisto and shut down his valve of lies. And when you have slain that wicked valve turner in the city of Kurast, then your dirty job is finished, and I will send a bunch of pipe-hitting angels with torches and pliers who can't withstand a corrupted arse on miles away. We will get medieval on the council.
Hang on. I thought that we already live in medieval times.
Oh, Cain, I didn't know you're still here. I mean, we will do a council shutdown with a task force of loving and peaceful angels. Then we will start an audit and thoroughly investigate government spending.
That was the story of El Boto returning into this world again. Don't switch the channel yet. In the next bit, we will learn whether Ricky Maru is a nasty traitor who deliberately sank his own team, or is he just an innocent victim? But before that, we have to analyze El Boto's match.
Let's now have a look at this presentation. We can see 4 frames, 4 different situations. All of them are within the first 5 minutes of the game. All 4 frames are aligned roughly by finishing casting the Shadow Strike. But in the third case, the Shadow Strike doesn't finish, it's interrupted, so it's slightly different. And we are observing 2 things. When Shackles of Shadow Shaman land on Queen of Pain, it means the first moment she gets stunned. And we are observing it from 2 points, from beginning of casting the Shadow Strike and from finishing casting of Shadow Strike. Because when it gets interrupted, we want to have an idea. So starting casting of it, we take the moment when first green triangle appears on the scale. Finishing of the casting, we take the moment when the green scale turns into cooldown. It is needed to say that these situations are displayed on 10% speed. It means 1/10 of the original speed. So in the first frame, the Shadow Strike was aimed at Anti-Mage, and it took 0.825 seconds from beginning of casting it to get shackled, and 0.525 seconds from finishing casting it to get shackled. The second situation, the Shadow Strike is also aimed at the Anti-Mage. It took 0.84 seconds from beginning and 0.5 seconds from finishing casting it. In the third situation, the casting gets interrupted in the middle roughly, and it took 0.2 seconds from beginning of casting to get shackled. In the fourth situation, Shadow Strike is also aimed at Shadow Shaman. It finishes casting and it took 0.57 seconds from beginning of casting it and 0.24 seconds from finishing casting it to get shackled. The point of this presentation is to show that Shadow Shaman's reactions are scripted and they are bound by beginning of casting of a skill by Queen of Pain. We can see that in the first 2 cases the behavior of Shadow Shaman is slightly different because the
skill is aimed at anti-mage. I believe that Shadow Shaman's role is to support anti-mage, and that's why he behaves different when he is attacked single or when his companion is attacked. In the cases 3 and 4, we can see that casting gets interrupted or she gets shackled much faster than in first 2 cases.
Counter! Double counter! Triple counter! Quadruple counter! Penta counter! Hexa counter! Kunka counter!
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Super mega massive counter!
Now regarding the anti-mage, he countered 6 consecutive shadow strikes in the laning stage of the game since level 4 when he acquired the skill counter spell. It was around 6th minute until minute 11 and a half. So in this time no shadow strike landed at him at all. He also countered Shadow Strike in minute 33, which was the one also shown in the video, the one coming from the forest without vision. We could think that it potentially could have been a combination of good luck, good internet and good skill. Okay. But then let's see what else happened in this match. Now we can see AM harassing the queen, but doesn't even finish one hit. Kunka targets him and he starts retreating again. A weird behavior. From his vision, he knows Kunka's there, still goes there. Does nothing basically. Here we can see a brilliant calculation. Now in this one, Kunka is chasing the anti-mage. He activates his counter spell. Now if we look again, watch Kunka's torrents timer, it replenishes and anti-mage activates his counter spell circa 0.64 seconds after his cooldown replenished. Casting time for torrent is 0.4 seconds. If we add circa 0.24 seconds to it for player's reaction, we get almost exactly at the timing on his counter spell. But let me just remind you, that's not the information players can see. They cannot see their opponent's cooldowns. Now in this one, anti-mage and Shadow Shaman attacking the queen. The queen is shackled. Naga joins the fight. Meanwhile, anti-mage activates his counter spell. What's the counter spell for? When the queen is shackled. Naga is coming. Let's look at Song of Siren radius. Now it's the anti-mage. Just look at it, how precise it is, exactly spot on. It's a beauty of perfection. No, it's not for end snare, shorter radius, but Song of Siren. It's there. And here Venomancer is after AM, he turns in place, Venomous Gale counter. Let's see it on slower speed. He doesn't cast exactly when he approaches anti-mage, but waits a moment, turns around, now cast, now counter. Venomous Gale is an insta-cast, and it took the missile to arrive 0.5 seconds approximately from Venomancer. Now here notice how the anti-mage dodges attack from the creep, and then he last hits him, and then he triggers his counter spell at the moment when the missiles nearly precisely touch him. This is quarter speed, 0.5 seconds for the missile to arrive at him. So this guy has got immediate reactions. It looks like he's playing on LAN instead of online. He knows casting times, cooldowns and radiuses of enemy spells. He's got generally very good awareness in combat. I think we are probably looking at the best anti-mage in the world. And that's in Herald rank, of course. The hardest rank in the world.
Now! This Rikimaru is dead because he was a filthy traitor! Or was he?
So what is Rikimaru's case about? The Dire are defending their base now. Score is 47-46 and they are successfully pushing off the Radiant. The Dire have been playing in 4 players for most of the game. And now it is 4 dead to 1. And the Dire are turning the tide of the game. They lost many buildings. Rikimaru's highest level from the Dire, 28, score 21-5. His nick is Mackenzie, by the way. He's been playing on wards for most of the game. Most of wards you see on the minimap were put in place by him. Now, the Dire have really good vision now. And they are supposed to be in a defensive phase. What is Rikimaru doing there? Why is he going to the enemy's jungle? He goes there, he drops an observer ward at the Watcher, and there goes Windranger. Silence, and she does a quick process of him. Oh, it is 100 seconds respawn time for Rikimaru, but the game wouldn't be so long. So, did he really need to go down there? Look at the vision, they have really good vision. Defensive phase of the game, they are supposed to be defending because Radiant are back on full power. Look at Windranger, what she is doing the small creep camp in the jungle. Standing there, chilling out among trees. She is not touching any creeps, running around, and now she sees Rikimaru. This is also quite suspicious. She was doing nothing exactly at the time Rikimaru was approaching. So is the estimate correct that Rikimaru went down to the jungle to hand over victory to the enemy? Is Windranger a bot who knows positioning of enemy players? And she knew he was coming, so she stopped any actions, she was just walking around. Perhaps are both of them bots who are cooperating on handing over the victory to the desired team. This situation happened after the Dire pushed off the Radiant and they started turning the tide of the game. Even though Radiant had a really good team, good teamwork, and the Dire were fighting in 4 people. As the game progressed, they really became very strong with their DPS, Terrorblade, Weaver, and Ricky. And after the last fight, the AI realized that the outcome of the game is uncertain. So was Ricky a bot who was sent there to hand over the victory to the enemy team? Or did Windranger use a nasty cheat to catch Ricky Maru there? So I'm gonna tell you what I found out. There definitely were bots in this game, but actually these 2 guys weren't bots. They both were humans. And what happened was a pure coincidence. I was expecting someone doing account reduction this way, but it proved not to be true. And there was indeed nothing wrong with this situation apart from the fact that it was a stupid decision by Ricky. Of course, he shouldn't have gone there, but also a bad luck because the Windranger only hero who had a gem on her. So it's showing that not every time when we think it's cheating or bots, it has to be true. Sometimes it just looks like that. So, Mackenzie, rest in peace. Now let's have a look at this situation. We got Witch Doctor for the Dire. At the tower we got Shadow Shaman and Hoodwink and Queen of Pain for Radiant. I want to show you this perfect synchronization. We can see all of 3 jumping at him at the same time, which is kind of normal in Dota. Now vision of Witch Doctor, he knows they are there. They are kind of halfway in the shades. Now they go at him. Now what is needed to know, Shadow Shaman and Hoodwink are both AI. Queen of Pain is probably a human, Witch Doctor is surely a human. Now we can see a ping which comes a short moment before they attack Witch Doctor. That's Queen of Pain doing the pink purple color. And please notice how Hoodwink and Shadow Shaman turn, both of them at nearly the same time, a short moment just before the ping arrives. They turn and start heading towards Witch Doctor to attack him. Now they are kind of walking around, staying out of vision. Now they both turned and heading towards Witch Doctor. Their attack is perfectly synchronized. Queen of Pain is a bit later. So they are expecting an attack. Now they are already on the way. Now we can see it in detail. On the right frame is ping on Witch Doctor. Left 2 frames Hoodwink and Shadow Shaman. Watch the time when they are turning. Nearly identical time of them turning and heading towards Witch Doctor. And it's a very short moment before ping arrives. Now, ping. Please also notice their distance. Hoodwink is further away than Shadow Shaman from Witch Doctor. And even though Hoodwink doesn't stop on his way, they arrive towards the attacking position at the same moment and their attack is perfectly synchronized. Those are pretty much what could be called grandmaster bots.
And this is maximum effectivity attack, maximum power. It's the same case like in other cases shown in this video, that they react basically a half a second, let's say, before the stimulus arrives. Yeah, so the ping by the Queen of Pain arrives to the server where is the game, and bots get the information sooner than it appears on player's screen. That's why they both simultaneously turn at the same moment shortly before the ping arrives. A great calculation is also apparent. That's why they are keeping at a distance which allows them to attack completely simultaneously. Those two bots are probably supporting the player, so they are adjusting themselves to players' needs. For example, they are accompanying them on the map, helping them to get kills, or perhaps sacrificing themselves for the player, getting in the way if enemies want to get them. And so we are back at this article from openai.com from the time they were doing those show matches with professional teams. Part of the article was cooperative mode, which is something the company was testing it. You can see they were testing playing together with bots, 2 human players and 3 bots on each team. And they are trying to give us the information in such a sentimental and hopeful way, like to make us like it. What they are writing here, for example, let me read it for you. It actually felt nice. My Viper gave his life for me at some point. He tried to help me, thinking, I am sure she knows what she is doing. And then obviously I didn't. But you know, he believed in me. I don't get that a lot with human teammates. That's so sentimental. I also love when Viper dies, that bloody nasty snake. But that lady was obviously playing Dota for first time in her life, so she takes it a different way. The article continues. OpenAI 5's ability to play with humans presents a compelling vision for the future of human-AI interaction, one where AI systems collaborate and enhance the human experience. Our testers reported feeling supported by their bot teammates, that they learned from playing alongside these advanced systems, and that it was generally a fun experience overall. Okay, so that's the important part. A compelling vision for the future of human-AI interaction, one where AI systems collaborate and enhance the human experience. Now, this is what exactly is called soft disclosure. Soft disclosure is a special term. I really encourage you to look it up. You will find very interesting information, not just about Dota, reaching far beyond Dota if you deeply delve into terms of disclosure. Now, I googled it up. AI overview of the terms of the disclosure, business and financial contexts. Corporate reporting. Companies may use soft disclosures such as mission statements or general statements about their environmental vision because they are easy to mimic and not easily verifiable, unlike hard disclosures which include specific, quantifiable and objective information. Okay, so statements about their vision. What the article is saying: OpenAI's ability to play with humans presents a compelling vision for the future. So soft disclosure in plain language means that they are telling us something about which they don't want to give us details, concrete details, like what exactly, like exactly when, or exactly why or how. They want to keep it for themselves for whatever reason it is, and they are just telling it in a vague way. For example, look, we have discovered this amazing model which this human player was enjoying so much, and so we are testing it. But in the fact they have concrete intentions for that. Of course, it's not a just random experiment which they are doing just out of curiosity. Basically, every piece of information a corporation lets out has some meaning. They are very careful with any kind of information which comes out, and none of it is without proper intention. None of it is coincidental. So seeing an article like that, where they are saying that they are testing this model and they are describing it, how it works and what it brings, and especially what they want it to bring, it means self-disclosure that it's already in existence or will be. You know what, guys? I'm also having a future vision. A vision of a match where our team beats 5 grandmaster bots. And I want to show you the vision now. So here it is. Human team is ready and dire our AI completely. Look how is Sniper getting trashed by Leshrak on the mid. 9-3 last hits denies for Leshrak, 0-0 for Sniper. Guess who's gonna win this fight? What a surprise. Brilliant calculation again. So we've got Pujan Nature Prophet on the top lane. Puj can be very terrific when played by AI. He usually goes the same strategy. Hard support, never touching any creeps, but maximum harass of enemy and maximum protection of the carry. We can see Nature Prophet already 15-5 last hit denies, Leshrak 15-4. On the bottom lane we've got Venomancer and Kunkka. Venomancer is quite often played by the AI. Kunkka scarcely. That's why it is so hard to play against Grandmaster AI, because they just completely own the lane. They are so effective with last hits and denies that they just put you out of the game very soon. Plus there is of course a perfect cooperation between carry and support. So they are very synchronized when they are going to harass or when they are going to defend, push you out of the lane. Minute 5.5. Last hit denies for Leshrak 28-5 on the middle lane for Sniper 9-3. Okay. Okay, so minute 28. Puj is walking in Radiant's jungle. He gets pinged, turns around and starts walking away. But the ping comes from the enemy, from Winter Wyvern. We can see his vision, he can see only Sniper on bottom lane. Now he turns around, walking away. There are two guys in the jungle, Winter Wyvern and Duza. They can see him through this observer ward. Ping to attack, but he immediately turns around and walks away. A short moment, very short moment before Ping arrives. Now this is the first important battle of the match. We can see Pooch with his illusions going in front, like a meat shield. Behind him 3 Dire. They are invading their jungle. Nature Prophet is far away, but probably waiting. Now Lich Chain Frost and Pooch and his illusions. Pooch is dead. And it's now 5 Radiant versus 3 Dire. And we are going in on them. Nature Prophet is coming. So it is 5 dead for Radiant. Sniper has just bought back, 1 dead for Dire. That was the moment I realized that we were up against the AI. I didn't know it from the beginning of the game. But this is a good indicator. If you seem hopeful and the teams are kind of equal, or you have a number advantage and you still get beaten so badly that you don't even know how, that is usually the reason. Some 2 minutes later we are trying to do a little push, but it feels more like teasing a snake by a barefoot. Winter Wyvern, ulti, but Nature Prophet is coming from behind. And it's again a beating for us. 4 dead. We can have a look at net worth. Nature Prophet nearly 29,000, Leshrak 18,000, Kunka nearly 18,000. First 3 players for them. The Dire are doing Roshan now. Nature Prophet is taking the Aegis. And they are going to steamroll us over. The score is 30-46. All 5 of them now going into our base. There is Lich coming from behind. Chain Frost. Lich has got the Aeon Disc. We're taking down Leshrak. We have some good positioning now. Winter Wyvern ulti. That is doing the job. Nature Prophet is respawning with the Aegis. And he is still doing problems to us. Well, fortunately our Medusa has farmed well. And we are taking them all out. In this battle I thought we were gonna get completely trashed. There are 2 Dire on the high ground at the outpost.
Wraith King is going to engage them. He's at the stairs. They start attacking him. Nature Prophet joins in. They are all attacking Wraith King. Now his reincarnation is binding them in place. And they are all 5 in one cluster. Leech, Chain Frost, Winter Wyvern Curse. Sniper shooting them from distance. Medusa joins the fight. Good shooting position. They are getting devastated by Chain Frost. Our DPS is very good now. It's 3 dead for Dire, 2 dead for Radiant. Now Nature Prophet gets Winter Wyvern. So far it's 3-3, a draw. But we show them they can't progress on anymore. Now Medusa is going to do a creep wave on the top lane. But Leshrac and Nature Prophet want to chase her. Prophet is sporting there, fighting with Medusa. Leshrac is coming. He's joining in now. They are both attacking Medusa. Medusa triggers her ulti. And she gets Leshrac. Now they are fighting with Nature Prophet. It's a very tight fight, but Medusa wins. She nearly ran out of mana. And tide of the game has turned. 10 minute 47 of this match, and this game is far from decided yet. We can see team of 5, Radiant coming towards their tower, and they are in full power as well. Coming around Secret Shop to face them. But they are just too close to each other. Rat King engaged. Here comes the first curse. Chain Frost by Lich. They are all disabled. Second curse. Third curse. They can't do anything much now. They're taking them one after another. Leshrac still alive. Nature Prophet is still alive. But they seem not to have enough damage to do us any harm. And they are all dead. It looks like they have made the same mistake again. Fighting in a constricted space around the secret shop. "52nd minute of the match, we are now feeling much stronger and confident. We are looking for a way to get Roshan. But unfortunately they got a ward here so they can see us come into his cave. Nature Prophet is sporting in. Kunkka, they are trying to prevent us. Puj is following. Wraith King is already fighting Leshrac. Now Puj jumps on Wraith King, Kunkka at him as well. Medusa's using her ulti on Venomancer, Nature Prophet. Useless ulti Winter Wyvern. But Sniper and Lich are disabling and quite dishing out damage to Kunkka. And it's 2 dead for them, 3 dead for them already. They just can't get on us. Now Nature Prophet is in problems, Leshrac as well. And they get killed at the same time again. 5 dead. And we are just free to take Roshan. After this, they are just broken. Kunkka has just now bought back, but it doesn't make any difference. They just can't stop us now. We take them apart one after another. And we take the victory. So we were definitely very lucky with their positioning in this game. They were kind of staying in a formation, which I don't see a lot with bots, but sometimes they really do it. And heroes like Lich and Winter Wyvern proved to be very devastating to them. We also had Wraith King, who was very good at stopping them. And we had, of course, Medusa, who farmed really well, and she just was late game carry. Funny thing is, I didn't notice this before, but look at this Nature Prophet. Meanwhile we are conquering their base, what he is doing. He destroyed both of our towers. Now he's destroying our enchant.
We get Wraith King back, trying to stop him. We get Sniper and Winter Wyvern back. And it was really close before he could get our enchant. You can see that indeed they didn't want to give up easily. So that was my future vision, guys. Unfortunately, I'm getting such visions quite often these days. Let's have a look at those formations, if I can get them on the picture so we can recognize it better. This is from the beginning of the game. It can't be recognized often, but sometimes you can see a very uniform way of moving. This is one of their attacks on our base. Kunkka and Puch in front, and behind them 3 ranged fighters. Look at this beautiful formation. This is from the fight at Secret Shop. When they are going to the fight, they are just keeping close to each other. It's also a bit more uniform than humans would have, even though it's often hard to notice. Okay, so this was to the match against the AI. And I think we have already seen enough in this video, so let's summarize it.
Next on this show comes the summary. Just a warning for you. It is the scientific and serious part. If you are watching this video purely for having fun, as if there were any jokes until now, you should leave the room immediately.
So, 2 major outputs of this video. The AI bots are present in Dota 2 ranked play, either mixed into teams with humans or playing as an entire team against humans. And the second, the bots are using unfair means of play, also called cheats, which gives them an unfair advantage against human players. For example, knowing of players' targeting of spells, abilities, items, and attack and movement targeting points. They also have faster reaction times due to the direct connection to the API, which can also be considered cheating. Less prevalent is using of visibility glitching, which either reveals or hides certain heroes in Fog of War, which significantly impacts a particular game. These 2 points are absolutely crucial for understanding what is actually going on with ranked games. Why are ranked games such a swamp as they are now? Now I want to speak about Immortal Rank. Here you can see rank distribution among players. You can see all the ranks in the game with percentages on the right side, how many players belong under each rank. And at the top you can see Immortal Rank in red color, and it's got 1.91% of all players playing in that rank. So how good actually are Immortal players in Dota 2? What is their win rate? Let's have a look at this. An average win rate for Immortal players is just above 50%. 50% is considered very good, while the highest ranked players have win rates closer to 52 to 55% over many games. So the Immortal rank starts at 5650 MMR, and it goes on for several thousands of MMR. It really varies a lot, but their win rate is most of times 50 to 52% for most of players. If they are really good, like top of Immortal rank, can achieve more than 52%, and very best ones of them achieve 55% win rate over long time on average. Here you can see a whole range of MMR boosting services. This is just the first page of Google. MMR boost Dota 2, order starts in 5 minutes. One under it, start in 15 minutes. Yeah. So I went to one of those websites and I made an order. So here is my order. I asked them to increase my MMR from 6,000 to 7,000 and their price is $100. When I checked other websites, the price ranges generally from $100 to $130 for such kind of a boost. You can see some more expensive than that. Some of them are extremely expensive, but it's generally an exception. If my order is for 1000 MMR, it means that the booster has to make a positive balance of 40 victories. When his winning rate is 55% at best, because he's gonna be playing against very skilled players at this 6000 MMR level, it means that for each 100 games he plays, he will win 55 games. And if he wins 55 games, it means he loses 45 games. That means positive balance of 10 games, which is 250 MMR plus. So I need 1000 MMR, so it means he has to play 4 times as much. 250 multiplied by 4 is 1000. It means that he has to play 400 games of Dota. In order to play 400 games, it takes approximately 267 hours if we count 40 minutes match. 267 hours, that's a lot of time, and it means that the booster will get paid approximately 37 cents per hour. We don't even need to include business costs and taxation because the amount is so ridiculously small that it can't even cover life expenses and is less than the smallest minimum wage limit from all countries. Needless to say that somebody with such intellectual abilities, mental strength and emotional resilience to play high-level Dota would surely find it easier to get a normal job for a proper salary. And look at those delivery limits. They start your order in 15 or 5 minutes. It means that that small handful amount of players who can play at this level in the world are immediately available and they are able to accomplish the order in 7 days. 267 hours of playing Dota in 7 days, when 1 week has only 168 hours. Some websites state 7 to 12 days, but it's still playing literally 24/7. For these 3 reasons, economical impossibility, human impossibility, because playing at such a high level is very demanding. Ask professionals how many matches can they perform at high level when they are trying to win hard. Not many, definitely it cannot be all day long, cannot be 24/7, at maximum a few hours every day. And it is also impossible from time perspective, unless those people are magicians. So we can see that the idea that the boosting service is performed by humans is completely wrong. But so who is doing it, if not humans? Is it a bunch of trained monkeys sitting at the computer and beating top-level players? Or is it an octopus in a tank playing 24/7? I don't think so. It has to be a machine. It can't be a simple bot which can be made at home by a few guys, because it has to be very sophisticated, as Dota is a very complex game. It has to be an artificial intelligence which will be controlling a bot in the game. But what is needed to create an artificial intelligence of such complexity and sophistication? It definitely needs at least a team of specialists, a laboratory, a specialized equipment and funding, perhaps millions of dollars, to create something which could beat players in the game. Remember how long did it take to OpenAI to develop the OpenAI 5? Years, tens of millions of dollars, and it needed a support from Microsoft. And now imagine that this third party would develop their AI in a similar way, and they would plant it into ranked games in Dota 2. They will get beaten by the AI which is already there, as we know. and that AI is connected to the API. So it can beat the new AI because it has faster reaction times. So the company would fail, the project would go bankrupt. So how can it be possible for an AI to do boosting services? The only possible explanation is that the boosting services are run by the same AI which already is in ranked games, which bears lots of resemblance to the OpenAI 5 which we have seen in show matches. For example, having fast reaction times, which they consider cheating. That's exactly what the bots in the game are doing now. There is no other known AI in the world, such sophistication and such skill, which could be playing Dota 2. So that means that there is an AI in ranked games which is connected to the API of the game, and at the same time it is performing boosting services. How insane is that? Would you ever on Earth think this? I know it's hard to believe, folks, but that's the only possible explanation. And that isn't all yet. Let's have a look at this.
Oh, hang on! Before you burn my brains out! There is a new show just arrived! Don Farmcapone! Let's watch it first before we continue in those scientific revels!
The 30s came, and America lost innocence. Those ugly electric cars were everywhere. I had a family with children and a Dota account. The inflation had hit us hard. I had to have 6 jobs to at least keep my head above the water. But that wasn't all the pain. Then out of nowhere came the prohibition. Selling and buying MMR was now officially against the law. You could see poor people everywhere, driving those rectangular Disasters. And it turned out to be the toughest time. Only ones who could feed their families and could afford diesel cars were either celebrities, corrupted politicians, AI scammers, or members of mafia who were earning riches from the prohibition. One day, I had finally enough of poverty and destitution, so I took my courage and went to ask the head of the prominent Dota family, Don Farmcapone, for a job.
Did you know that paid shill? What was his name? Bobby? I don't care about his bloody name. He's gone. And you know why? Because he was talking too much. So do you have what it takes to join our Dota gang?
I told Don in all honesty that I had a few friends who had a few friends who were playing in Immortal.
Immortal? Those push puppets? Do you think they know what Dota is? Now you tell me that you go push with mana boots and we are done. I once knew a guy, his name was Frankie, but we called him Frankie the Build Rocket. His last build were concrete boots, then he went for a swim in the ocean. So you don't crap your panties when a bunch of noobs begin raiding our businesses and you buy a few bees from a draw. In this job, you can earn so much money you haven't seen in your life, but things can go wrong quickly. Yes? He's in the intensive care? Good. So you don't cave in when a group of monkey kings armed with falcon knives and butterfly golf clubs will try to do your creep camp.
I would, maybe vanish between trees?
That's it. Keep glitching in the forest until our lads find their addresses and snip off their electricity. That will send them back into Stone Age where they belong, including their grandmas on ventilators. Well then, welcome to the Familia.
So I've made it. I immediately swore loyalty to Don Farmcapone and his family. Then Don went on, introducing me into my new job, so I better listen carefully.
In the beginning, you will be with Johnny Longbash and Sam Glitchbitch. They will take you under their wings, but don't expect them to look after your arse forever. If you need an advice, feel free to speak to my consigliere. He's looking after our creep routes, making sure that everything's perfectly legal. Also keeping all the griefers on our payslip. Never ask MVP Snow anything, that guy is just a front end for our operations. Stay away from the police. Those guys work for us, but I'm fed up with faking somebody's magic story every day. First you gotta see Fat Pete. He's our specialist with cheats and hacks. Tell him to give you a new account, not too much behavior score, not too few. I don't want to raise any suspicion. Speak to him if you need a new bot or a noob tracker. He will give you mob hack and introduce you to Colt 1911 autocast. You might also get a Tommy gun with lifesteal, but that isn't for green ones. You will find him in the garage doing a LAN party. Yes? No, don't connect through the Steam platform. Who do you think we are? An amateur gang of local milkmen? Connect through the API. Do you know what it means? API means access from Italia. And the last thing, never cross your paths with Chinese. They are running their own operations, but they are smuggling shards. I don't want to have anything to do with that crap. That stuff is so deadly that even the strongest and toughest carry gangsta should stay away from that.
This is a win rate distribution in ranking with proper mathematical and statistical principles. We can see that 50% level, which corresponds to an ability of a player to win exactly 50% of matches when faced with any random player from this ranking, is exactly in the middle. For some of you, it may be a big surprise that 50% is exactly in the middle, but I can assure you that 50% is meant to be in the middle, and that's why it is 50%. Now, if we have a player whose skill corresponds exactly to this 50% level win rate, and we match him against any random player from this ranking, he will keep his 50% win rate. For example, he will play against a player who's got 25% and he will win. Then he will play against a player who's got 75% and he will lose. So he will have one loss and one win. That's exactly 50% win rate. Now let's have a look at this picture. This is a win rate distribution in the current Dota 2 ranking system. You can see the 50% level is very close to the top of the graph. Therefore, this level is significantly shifted from a place where it should be in the middle to the top, which corresponds to the border of Immortal rank. That means that when a player who's just reached the Immortal rank, which is 5650 MMR, will be randomly placed against any other player from this rank, he will keep his 50% win rate. For example, he will be faced against Herald and he will win. Then he will be faced against Guardian and he will lose. Then he will be faced against Crusader, he will win. Then against Archon, he will lose. That's 50% win rate. Now let's take for example player Satanic, who's got nearly 53% win rate. According to this win rate distribution, he is only some 5% better than a player playing in Guardian or Crusader on average. So now we can see the distortion. Satanic may be 2 or 3 times better than a player playing in Guardian. So how is it possible that his win rate is only some 5% better? There is no official information regarding win rates of ranks from Herald to Legend, but according to player statistic we can easily figure that out. So numbers you can see are an approximation, most probably precise on 1%. It all means that this ranking system is highly distorted compared to a proper mathematical and statistical model. In a competitive game, the skill of a player should correspond to their win rate, which translates into their MMR. But according to this model, even very strong players have their skill just slightly different from average and below average players. And this is connected to another problem. If just 1.9% of all players are above 50% win rate, it means that more than 98% of players are losing their MMR in long term. Only the Immortal rank, which has got over 50%, is gaining MMR. If you want to have a positive balance of MMR, you need to have your win rate above 50% and everyone else in this ranking is losing MMR. If you have a win rate of 50%, it means that you win 5 matches out of 10 and you lose 5. It means that your MMR is staying equal. Everything above 50% is gaining MMR and everything below it is losing it. But how can it be that more than 98% of players are losing MMR? Isn't it against the common sense? When a match happens, there are 5 winners and 5 losers, right? So it means that 5 people gain MMR and 5 people lose their MMR, 25 MMR each. So, shouldn't be the resulting number of those who gain MMR and those who lose MMR equal? In theory, yes. In practice, there can be less people who are gaining MMR because those people are playing more often. And the people who lose play less often. But the number of those who are gaining MMR shouldn't be so steeply different from the number of those who are losing MMR. It should be a zero-sum game. There is a defined pool of resources and people are distributing them between themselves. Therefore, there should be an equal number of those who are winning MMR and those who are losing it. In practice, there may be less people who are actually gaining MMR because they tend to play more often, but being the number only less than 2% compared to more than 98%, such a steep discrepancy is strongly against reason. Such a small number of people who are gaining MMR and such a huge number who are losing it means there has to be some influencing mechanics which is creating this discrepancy. And if such a huge number of people are losing MMR, to whom they are losing it? Are you trying to tell me that there is just less than 2% of people who are playing against 98% of people? So who is gaining the MMR of the vast majority of people who are losing it? Is their MMR evaporating like a water into clouds? Well, then it definitely isn't raining over my house. That's a simple math, guys, which is taught in school. School is a place where you were going before you started playing Dota. If I have 3 apples and I give them to 3 children, I give one to Alice, one to Bob and one to Cecil. Then I ask them to change the apples between themselves. Alice will give hers to Bob, Bob his to Cecil and Cecil to Alice. Then I turn around for 1 minute and find out that they have just 1 apple. But it doesn't make any sense to me because I know that each of them should have received 1 apple and given 1 apple. It's a zero-sum game. So where are the other 2 apples gone? It's simple. Alice sold her apple on a black market because she's a drug addict and she needs money for a shot. And Bob was stupid enough to follow her example. And then, when a snack time comes, Alice will start grieving because she hasn't had a piece of fruit for a long time, and Bob will start flaming Cecil because he thinks it's his fault that he doesn't have an apple. So where is our MMR going? I'm gonna tell you where it is going. It's going to a black market. See? Here. That was your MMR, and that over there, beautiful skin, was my MMR. They take our homegrown MMR, slap a fresh and beautiful skin at it, and sell it to any stranger who is willing to pay his filthy coin for it. And that's worse than the European Union. So, the MMR is being extracted from the system. But why isn't the MMR returned to the system after accounts are sold to players? The reason is that the speed of the extraction is much faster than speed of a player losing the MMR in this system with a losing rate close to 50%. The AI players play 24/7 and have a better win rate than humans. That's what is causing the ebb of MMR in the ranking. There are people in the community who are already aware of this problem, and not just a few of them. They know about the AI, cheating, and this manipulation. That's also the reason why so many people had left the game already. But they usually use term matchmaking manipulation. I think that isn't completely correct, as it is a complex issue, which includes matchmaking, of course, but it also includes unfair behavior during the game after the matchmaking has happened. Another term which you hear often is forced 50% win rate, or forced 50-50. This term also isn't completely correct because, as we know, the win rates are actually less than 50%. 50% is achieved only by a small amount of players, and the rest of the player base has got just 48.7% win rate on average, ranks Herald to Divine. Take for example casinos. Their win rate also isn't exactly 50% but a little bit over that, so they are always earning money from players. So in Dota, that 1 to 1.5% is the edge which is keeping them in profit. So the correct term for this phenomena is winrate manipulation, as it encompasses the whole complexity of the issue. So what's the definition of winrate manipulation, WRM for short? Winrate manipulation is a series of measures at normal circumstances unknown to players and officially undisclosed, which sole purpose is to achieve a predefined win rate of a player or a group of players, which serves to an unacknowledged purpose, and it is usually achieved by providing an unfair advantage to one of the sides in a competition. So why is the winrate manipulation happening?
Stop that blasphemy against gaming corporations. But just for a minute, because it's time for Don Farmcapone. On previous episode.
So I took my courage and went to ask Don Farmcapone for a job.
So you don't cave in when a group of monkey kings armed with falcon knives and butterfly golf clubs will try to do your creep camp.
I would maybe vanish between trees?
That's it. Keep glitching in the forest until our lads find their addresses and snip off their electricity. Welcome to the Familia. Okay, here is your first task. It's not too hard, but unexpected trip into kindergarten. Get your arse down the docks. There is a shipment coming in 3 days' time. A fresh and smelly MMR which they managed to beat out from those banned Smurf accounts. Be there on time and get one of their workers' uniforms. But be careful, their security's been beefed up since they found a feeder on their team. Wait until mid-game when Ursa starts soloing Roshan, then go to the other team and alarm them. And when they finish off those losers, just take the shipment and load it onto your truck. When you get to the gate, tell the security guard that your courier's got a diarrhea. He will let you through. Then drive to the rendezvous point and hand over to Flamin' Phil. Then your first job is finished. That will give you a chance to prove what you are worth. Hey, City Council, give me the mayor. Who's calling? It's me. Mayor Brunswick? Listen, lad, I want the Dota map to be only trees starting from the next week. No paths, no water, no outposts, no nothing, only trees. I want to glitch the hell out of those players who pay nothing for the game. Why should you vote for my proposal? Because somebody could get a free dive-in course. It won't be me, it won't be you, it won't be your wife, but your little chihuahua, which looks like a tiny version of Air Shaker. A dive-in course in my piranha tank. Sweet dreams, lad.
All right, time to start the truck. The first job wasn't too difficult. Exactly as Don said. I thought that the hardest part was behind me, but the way back was quite a bumpy ride. When I hit a large pothole, one of the crates fell and broke open. When I checked the contents of it, you wouldn't believe what I saw, and it definitely wasn't MMR.
What do you mean there was no fresh and smelly MMR in those crates? Why are you telling me they were full of shards? That's not your business. Do you know how much shards are worth? 1 gram of pure shards costs even 8,000 MMR in the street. Now you belong to me, so we will be doing exactly what I say. If you disobey me once again, you will go swimming with Tide Hunter.
So why is the Winrate manipulation happening? There are 3 main reasons for it. The first reason is to amass the biggest player base possible. Gaming companies already know that when a player isn't able to win enough in the game or isn't able to keep constantly winning, he is in a higher risk of leaving the game. That pertains especially to noobs and to new players. Therefore, by achieving this manipulated win rate, it gives the chance even to such low-skilled players to achieve some victories in the game, and therefore it is decreasing the risk of them leaving the game. And the more players the game has, the bigger is the chance that they will buy something in the game. Second reason is to promote account boosting services. We know that most of people are losing MMR in this ranking, but they scarcely blame themselves for that. They usually blame their team, and they are correct about it. So they think if they move higher in the rank, they will be winning more often. But we know that it's not quite true, the win rate stays quite similar. But the system is constantly creating an incentive to keep people using paid services. It may be even reducing services, because some players may think that if they get on a lower rank, the game will get easier for them. The third reason is to achieve balance in the game. Dota 2 is a very complex game, so it's very hard to balance completely. Some heroes may be imbalanced, or some playstyles of some heroes may be imbalanced, or perhaps players, when playing certain heroes, can perform so well that it would break the statistic. Even though the hero itself doesn't have to be imba. It may be just the combination of a hero and the player. So the uniform number of 55% win rate is achieved artificially, and its purpose is to keep happy players who would be complaining otherwise. So those are the main reasons for win rate manipulation. We can see that it creates an environment which isn't desired in a competitive gaming, and it is highly artificial. Needless to say that the players aren't honestly informed about these things, and it is also a trend which has been secretly forced upon the players without their approval. And so, how is the Winrate manipulation achieved? This is also very crucial. Winrate manipulation would be largely ineffective when it would be achieved only by matching certain players against each other. For its success and a precise and reliable working over a long period of time, it is necessary that AI bots are used along human players. In other words, if you had just human players available to you and you wanted to do Winrate manipulation, you would be only partially successful. And it wouldn't guarantee you win rates over long term, which are approaching 50% and are slightly below it. For such means, precise tools are needed. For example, take a player who tends to grieve. He is maybe grieving in 1 in 10 games or 1 in 5 games. That isn't a stable trait. That isn't a typical human behavior. Even if he has a low behavior score, it simply doesn't guarantee a decreased performance. Same with a player who tends to be rude to other players. Does that guarantee that he will be weak in the game? Not at all. He may actually become the strongest player in the game thanks to his psychopathic mindset and decreased sensitivity. Everyone who has ever played Warcraft 3 against ego-boosted Blademaster knows what I'm talking about. Those people are very hard to beat as they have a strong self-confidence. In short, that's a kind of a friend who doesn't have much manners, but you would like to have them on your side in a pub fight. The fact that a player has got a low behavior score and he is always underperforming is caused by the AI which is set to play in such a way. Therefore, when we see a player in the game whose behavior score is low, it is most likely a bot who is ruining the game. Because for real humans there is just a small correlation between behavior and performance. The reason why we think there is a correlation between low behavior score and low performance is because we got used to it, because the AI has been doing it. Essentially, any game which has a forced less than 50% win rate has to be equipped with AI bots, because genuine human competitive players are just too unpredictable element. If we do an AI search on these topics, you can see that we get a confirmation of that. This I accidentally googled up. Can you see that the system is pushing a player towards 50% win rate? The pushing towards a win rate is the manipulation. It shouldn't be pushing a player towards any win rate. It should be only pushing them into a match where predicted outcome is 50% chance to win for both teams. And that is a huge difference. The system shouldn't be touching your win rate at all. It is the same like tossing a coin. 50% chance for each of the sides to happen. If you toss the head 8 times, what is the chance of the next toss to be the head again? Surprise, it is exactly 50% again. It doesn't matter how many times any of the sides happen. The next toss has got the same chance again. But in the rigged system, after tossing 8 times head, you get like a few % chance to toss it again. That is a huge difference, so we can see that pushing towards a balanced match and pushing towards a win rate are two completely different things. This problem of forced win rate is unfortunately widespread among other online games as well. Pretty much every large game which has got an AI is complemented by boosting services. I don't think that games which don't have an AI have boosting services. Take for example Warcraft 3. That game is much more complex than Dota. It doesn't offer any boosting services because there is no AI which can play it well enough, even though it is still played by thousands of players and has been around for a very long time. That brings us to another topic, which is propaganda.
And because it is 144 minutes of this video will now start dropping Tier 10 items. You can choose one of these great items. A shotgun with evasion, meat cleaver with debuff duration and spell amp, polycrime charm with +20 into blackmailing and smuggling over 10 seconds, a machine gun for electric cars with mana regen aura, gangster scale with increased protection money per minute, a thermonuclear weapon with bonus night vision and increased attack speed. Oh, what an amazing selection! I'm coming, just a second.
Don Farmcapone is sending you his regards.
Cool stuff, bro. Is that the new sawed-off shotgun with evasion?
Yes, pal, I've just looted it, and you know what? This baby is just unstoppable.
Are you telling me that it even can get through a full metal blade mail?
Yeah, absolutely. With this, you take everyone down. Unless they have on the armlet of Carry Gangsta.
I love this, bro. But you know what? Now it's time for Don Farmcapone. On previous episode.
Okay, here is your first task. There is a shipment coming. A fresh and smelly MMR which they managed to beat out from those banned Smurf accounts.
One of the crates fell and broke open. You wouldn't believe what I saw. And it definitely wasn't MMR.
Now sit on your arse and listen. This is a chance to correct your reputation. There is a TI happening in the city over the weekend, and Team Herald is playing there. That's the team which belongs to Don Heraldo. I used to do business with Don Heraldo, but his team recently started counterpicking our bots. And that means that Don Heraldo wants a war. And those kids who play for him are just a bunch of spoiled brats who got all their accounts from parents. Even the skins they have don't belong to them. They managed to beat them out from poor people living in a slum in Offlane. So I've made arrangements for the final. They will be getting so much micro-lags and glitches that they can as well go into the jungle since minute 1. Otherwise they will be feeding like OG in a show match. I've got a Monkey King sitting in every single Lotus and waiting to shoot their arse off if they try to eat it. And if a miracle happens and they manage to take off 1 HP from a tier 3 tower, the AI is taken over and it goes into the beast mode. Full map hack and priority casting. Complete calculations of skill ranges, casting times and cooldowns. Micro so insane that even Pentagon would crap themselves if they saw it. Those bastards will be sorry that they were born. And you will just put the cherry on the top. Take Permastant Tony with you and go to Fat Pete and tell him to give you a blink baseball bat and a Crystallis crowbar. And a few red grenades if you have a free slot. Go to their parking lot and when they are in play, fix their couriers. That will teach them a lesson. A lesson that with a good teamwork and a skill, they will get nowhere. But be back for the dinner. I want you to drive me to my favorite Italian restaurant. Luigi is my good friend, he owns the place. He knows how to make the best pasta, la Smurfale.
That brings us to another topic, which is propaganda. Multiple gaming companies running games with forced win rates release deceptive information through official statements, paid debaters or AI in discussions and through streamers and YouTubers. Typical traits of such propaganda is being very eloquent, but not truly answering on any questions. And when they answer, they generally reflect the problem back on the player, like the problem is actually in him and not in the game. That's a technique called gaslighting. Let's say somebody is bullying you or stealing from you or doing you a harm otherwise, but they keep telling you that it is your fault that you are being harmed. So it is a manipulation of the thinking of the victim, so it can't see the real cause of the issue. The term comes from a movie Gaslight, where a husband is abusive to his wife and at the same time he is being so manipulative that the wife thinks that it is all her fault. Let's see an example of this.
The game is putting griefers on my team every time after I've had a win streak, just to bring me back in line. My answer to that is, you're most likely noticing griefers. more frequently when they're on your team than when they're on the enemy team. You were fine with it when you won eight in a row. You didn't notice it.
So he is basically saying that you've had two griefers in the team all the time, but now you lost because you noticed them.
What trickery is this?
You know what, guys? Next time you see two griefers in your team, you just cover your eyes and you will keep winning. It isn't a problem in the game, it is with your eyes. You think you've been on a winning streak, but that's wrong, you've been actually losing all the time. You just didn't notice it. Now seriously, funny thing is that even if you truly covered your eyes during playing, you would end up with an exactly same win rate. That's what is the forced win rate for. If you keep throwing games, the game will mirror it by adding a completely inept player to the enemy team. Now let's have a look at what are the propagandists presenting to us. That is supposed to be a bell curve of a normal distribution of win rate among players. I don't know how about Netherlands, but in the rest of the world, a bell curve looks like this. That is a normal distribution of win rates. Look at this small sector in the middle of it. That's ranking in Dota 2. And where is the rest of the players? By the way, that guy is called Grubby. He's a former Warcraft 3 player and used to play more games, including Dota 2. And he recently became an inventor of Dutch bell curve. I encourage you to listen to his talk to see how a typical propaganda looks like. Another typical answer if you ask why do you always have a losing streak after you've had a winning streak is that you have got onto a rank which is beyond your skill level and therefore there is a skill ceiling which somehow bounces you back to where you were before. But in reality there is no bouncing ceiling with springs on it. That you manage to get on a higher rank, it simply means that you belong there. And from there on you should have only 50% win rate and not losing streaks. And so, when you manage to keep your win streak, despite having loser bots on your team, the algorithm will send you a team of very strong AI. They look, for example, like this. The same like an assassin sent to kill a VIP. These guys are there to kill you. But these assassins were hired for tens of millions of dollars. So you see that manipulating a win rate isn't an easy task, but the system became so well functioning that we can see it in many online games. Most of it is happening through the so-called Smurfs. Those are AI players planted into the game in order to achieve the win rate manipulation. For example, where you are outperforming your rank, strong Smurfs are sent to destroy you. When you are underperforming, weak Smurfs are sent into the enemy team. Human players then keep spreading the nonsense because they have no other explanation on why is that and that player so strong or so weak. So they think he is an account buyer with a very high skill or a very low skill. Next time in the game you think that some player is a Smurf, just translate the word into AI player.
When I look back at the job, I couldn't really complain. The money I was earning while working for Mafia was just beyond my imagination. My family wasn't hungry anymore. I could afford all food we needed. I hadn't seen so many happy Indians for a long time. Never again I had to go back to work in a factory for 60 hours a week for ridiculous gold per minute. And I finally started living. I had tasted luxuries of life. Me and my buddies from Dota family were often attending parties which were meant for better members of the society. For first time in my life, I knew how it is to get an attention of a blonde woman. This one isn't Crystal Maiden, just Crystal. With her, it was just fun and games until something got frozen solid. You guess what it was? Yeah, that's right. My wallet. But, you know, rigging Dota matches and getting rid of uncomfortable players. Sometimes, in weak moments, I was feeling perhaps a bit guilty, thinking of what kind of person I actually became. Once, when I had an opportunity, I carefully asked Don Farmcapone what he thinks about such things.
Look, lad, there is such a place in all of us. Never listen to it. You have to kill it. Just cut it out. It's making you weak. And remember this. Every man lives, but not every Dota account is truly alive.
We know from the article about cooperative mode that approximate number of AI players is 60%. It means 3 on each team, 6 out of 10 players. That corresponds to my personal observation as well of other people who expressed themselves about this issue. Indeed, if you type into the chat GLHF at the beginning of the game, you wouldn't get many answers. Usually it is 1 or 2. Out of 10 players, majority are just silent. That isn't by any means normal. And why do you think that it isn't possible to see team chat in game replays? For the same reason. Chat of AI players among themselves would be easily recognizable by its patterns. My personal observation is that at least 50% of all players in games are bots. When I fully realized that there are indeed so many AI players, I had already played this game for 1200 hours. And when I was thinking about it, I also realized that the game has been same all the time since I started playing it, which was in 2021. So for at least 4 years, there have been around several hundreds of thousands of AI bots daily. I can't speak for a time before that, but this in itself is still absolutely shocking and unbelievable. And it is an absolute disaster for online gaming, especially for competitive gaming. I believe that in long term it is making the population stupid, because playing against AI bots is much more rigid than playing against humans. Playing against AI is resembling more to a work than to playing. It is much more intense, heavily depending on reaction times than on a creativity and psychology. Bots are untouched by any psychological states, don't get affected by emotional swings, are not susceptible to mind games, and they are following repeating patterns much more than humans do. So most of young people are stuck in these repeating patterns, being deprived of many other aspects of the game which playing against humans has. Then they are gaslighted by gaming corporations who really don't care about players, not even a tiny bit. If you want such a disastrous future for online gaming, then please go on. I am not here to be telling you what to do. Everyone has his own conscience. But believe me, I was born precisely to catch the era of influx of computer games in 90s. I got my first PC in 1995, so I had seen the best games ever made. I'd felt how it is to play the games which were born from a unique idea and delivered with such a beauty and artistic effort to give the world their best. And for that, they required a payment. A fair trade. You give money and here is your game. Nowadays, you start playing a game which is for free, and even if you would be willing to pay for it, the game costs you much more than that. It costs you deception and addiction, stress, and much more money which you gradually keep paying. The game is more of an infernal machine, consuming and not rewarding, promising but not delivering. Beautiful on the outside but empty on the inside as it starts dragging you down into its abyss. It is everyone's decision if they agree with such a trend or not. The meaning of the word apocalypse is revelation or awakening, and I believe that the awakening is coming.